Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from 10 Group Introduction to Literature TBI 4D. Our members are Euis Asterina, Murdevi, and Aulia Rahma. Today, we would like to deliver our material about context-oriented. In this topic, we will divide it into 3 discussions. The first is definition of context-oriented approaches. The second is types of context-oriented. And the third is methodology of literary text. Okay, let's go to the first material. The first material is definition of context-oriented approaches. The context-oriented approach is one of the theoretical approaches to literature. The theoretical approaches to literature are the way to interpretation of the literature from several focus such as text, reader, author, and context-oriented. According to Clarer, depending on the main focus, the major methodologies, one can distinguish between text, author, reader, and context-oriented approaches. The context-oriented theory is the theory to examine the historical background, political and social background in writing a fiction such as novel, drama, poem, or short story. As Clarer 2004 stated that contextual approaches try to place literary text against the background of historical, social, or political development while at the same time attempting to classify text according to genres as well as historical periods. Okay, next material will present by Murdevi.
Okay, I will present the material about types of context-oriented. There are two types of context-oriented. The first is new historicism, and the second, feminist literary theory and gender theory. The first is about new historicism. One of the latest developments in the field of contextual approaches has been new historicism, which arose in the USA in the 1980s. It builds on post-structuralism and deconstruction with their focus on the text and discourse, but adds a historical dimension to the discussion of literary text. Certain works by Shakespeare, for instance, are viewed together with historical documents on the discovery of America, and the discovery itself is treated as a text. History, therefore, is not regarded as isolated from the literary text in the sense of a historical background, but rather as a textual phenomenon. The second about feminist literary theory and gender theory. The most productive and at the same time most revolutionary movement of the younger theories of literary criticism in general and the contextual approaches in particular is feminist literary theory. This complex critical approach is part of a movement which has established itself in almost all academic disciplines and has become particularly strong in the various branches of the modern literary criticism. Although gender is always at the center of attention in this school, this particular movement may be used to demonstrate how different approaches in literary studies tend to overlap. Feminist literary theory starts with the assumption that gender difference is an aspect which has been neglected in traditional literary criticism. and therefore conclude that traditional domains of literary criticism have to be re-examined from a gender-oriented perspective. Okay, the next material will be presented by Aulia Rahma.
Okay, I am Aulia Rahma. I will continue this material. The material about methodology of literary text. Methodology of literary text. In the interpretation of literary text, it is important to decide which approach are suitable for the text at hand and can lead to new results. Although a text might imply a certain approach because of its thematic, historical, or structural qualities, different approach might often produce more original and rewarding results. Postmodern works ask for a structural approach as they like to play with formal elements. Politically or ideologically motivated texts are ideal for a Marxist approach. Biographies or autobiographies lend themselves to a comparison with the life of the author. In addition, it would seem impossible today to interpret a text by a female author without referring to gender. However, this obvious approach do not have to dominate the discussion of a text. On the contrary, the choice of methodological approach should be guided primarily by the originality of the result it might produce, while reflecting one's personal interests, the state of current research of the trends of the time. Okay, thank you.